Mr. Chairman, the Trump administration's handling of the Jeffrey Epstein case is baffling. It's frustrating the American people, and it's exacerbating the mistrust in the Department of Justice and the Federal Bureau of Investigation. In February, Attorney General Bondi, 17 days into the job, said in a Fox News interview that the Epstein client list was, quote, sitting on my desk right now to review, end of quote. The White House then staged a major media release of Epstein-related files on February 27th, including preparing binders for conservative influencers and commentators. However, the files released were largely already publicly available.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, I'm your independent political analyst. No spin, no party loyalty, just clear-eyed, fact-based analysis of the major issues shaping our country. Today, we're taking a deep dive into a video that's been making the rounds regarding the Trump administration's handling, or perhaps more accurately, mishandling of the Jeffrey Epstein case. It's a serious topic that touches on justice, transparency, institutional trust, and a continued scrutiny over Epstein's high-profile connections. So let's break down what the video covered, and then I'll give you my own thoughts, objective, data-driven, and rooted in what we know so far.
There was nothing new. After intense blowback, Attorney General Bondi went back to Fox News, the mothership, and claimed that a whistleblower, quote, assured her there were more files, and that, quote, New York, Southern District of New York, was sitting on thousands of pages of documents. And she promised on Fox, and I quote, we will get everything, and the country will see, quote, the full Epstein files. These are quotes from Attorney General Bondi voluntarily appearing on Fox News to explain the situation. For the next 4 months, the Department of Justice and the FBI were silent. What happened during that period? Well, we received information that Attorney General Bondi pressured the FBI to assign, now get this, approximately 1,000 agents in its Information Management Division and hundreds of additional agents from the New York field office to work 24-hour shifts to review and produce more documents on Epstein on an arbitrarily short deadline. These officials were told to, quote, flag any records in which President Trump was mentioned. But after this flurry of activity using tens of thousands of personnel hours in March, it took DOJ and FBI 3 additional months to produce no new documents, but rather an unsigned memorandum on July 7th finding that, quote, this systemic review revealed no incriminating client list. Naturally, after all of the public promises Attorney General Bondi has made, the public is really suspicious of her finding. This suspicion has been exacerbated by public reporting that FBI Director Patel and FBI Deputy Director Bongino disagree with Attorney General Bondi's handling of this matter. Public mistrust has been fed by other claims in the July 7th memorandum. This memorandum included links to surveillance video footage from outside Epstein's cell in the hours leading up to his death. The July 7th memorandum describes one of the videos released as full, raw footage, yet experts who've analyzed it concluded the video was likely modified. The Trump administration has essentially created a new controversy rather than solving one. President Trump is not helping matters at all. Despite his administration continuing making promises about the transparency on Jeffrey Epstein and claims about the existence of records that have not been produced, he is currently telling the country the president is saying this is all, quote, a scam, close quote. Yesterday, President Trump posted on his personal social media site, and I quote, my past supporters have bought into this BS hook, line, and sinker. They haven't learned their lesson, and they probably never will. That's from the president's personal social media. This is the president talking about his own constituents who are concerned about claims his own campaign surrogates and administration have continually raised. President Trump and Attorney General Bondi are directly responsible for all this confusion and mistrust, and they need to be fully transparent, and they should release all of the documents for the public to review as quickly as possible.
Here are the major takeaways from the video. 1. growing mistrust in the DOJ and FBI, the public is increasingly skeptical, especially in how this case has been handled. 2. AG Bondi's bold public statements, claiming Epstein's client list was on her desk and promising transparency. 3. The February media release, a large media push was made, but the files released were already public and offered nothing new. 4. Talk of a whistleblower. Bondi cited unnamed sources claiming thousands of Epstein-related documents were being held back. 5. Months of silence after promises. The DOJ and FBI went radio silent for 4 months. 6. Resource allocation. Bondi reportedly pushed for over 1,000 FBI agents to comb through Epstein documents, with specific instructions to flag any mentions of Trump. 7. July 7th memorandum. After all that, no incriminating client list was found, at least according to an unsigned memo. 8. Internal discord. Senior FBI officials allegedly disagreed with Bondi's approach. 9. Surveillance footage concerns video from Epstein's cell was released, but experts think it may have been altered. 10. President Trump's reaction. He dismissed the entire controversy as a scam, even mocking his own supporters for believing in it. That's a lot. And if you're feeling confused, you're not alone. Let's take a step back. The Epstein case has always been shrouded in suspicion, from his sweetheart plea deal in Florida to the circumstances of his death in federal custody. This is not just a story about one man. It's about potential high-level complicity, failures of justice, and institutional credibility. Now, the Trump administration's handling of this saga seems to have added layers of opacity rather than clarity. Let's start with Attorney General Bondi's comments. Making public claims that she had the Epstein client list on her desk was bold. But when you make a statement like that on national television, the public expects follow-through. When those documents don't materialize, or when the ones that are released are already public, it understandably damages public trust. But it doesn't end there. The reported deployment of over 1,000 FBI agents to dig through these files raises real questions about priorities. While I have no issue with dedicating resources to a sensitive, high-profile case, the directive to flag only documents mentioning President Trump sets off alarm bells. It suggests a political filter on what should be an apolitical criminal investigation. And when you go through all that effort, burn tens of thousands of man-hours, and come up with an unsigned memo saying, nothing to see here, that just doesn't fly for most Americans. It breeds skepticism. Now, let's talk about the surveillance footage. The memo released in July included links to video outside Epstein's cell on the night of his death. Officials described it as raw footage, but according to analysts, it showed signs of possible modification. Let me be clear, that doesn't mean there was a cover-up. But in a case already marred by procedural failure, remember, cameras failing, guards asleep, logs falsified, this kind of questionable footage further erodes trust. Transparency in cases like this isn't optional. It's necessary, especially when it comes to custodial death under federal watch, involving a man with connections to elite political, financial, and entertainment circles. Now, let's talk about President Trump's recent comments. He called the entire controversy a scam and lashed out at his own supporters who believe the claims that his administration was hiding documents or obstructing justice. That's unusual. Think about this for a moment. These are claims his own administration raised. His attorney general made the promises. His White House promoted the document release. His DOJ and FBI managed the investigation. So when the president dismisses the entire thing and mocks his supporters for buying into it, it raises real questions about leadership and responsibility. This isn't a partisan criticism. It's a simple observation. A president must take ownership of their administration's actions. You cannot promise transparency, fail to deliver, and then blame the public for reacting accordingly. So what does this all mean? At best, what we're seeing is bureaucratic incompetence and media mismanagement. At worst, it could be an intentional misdirection designed to protect powerful interests, whether political or personal. Here's my neutral, fact-based conclusion. The American people deserve clarity on the Epstein case. They deserve transparency, and they deserve accountability, regardless of who is implicated. Democrat or Republican, celebrity or CEO, justice should be blind. The Epstein files, whatever remains, need be released in full, redacted only for genuine legal and safety concerns. The surveillance footage needs to be independently verified, and the Department of Justice needs to answer for the inconsistent and secretive approach they've taken under multiple administrations. That's my breakdown. If you found this analysis helpful, please like the video, subscribe, and drop your thoughts in the comments. What do you think is really going on here? Was this just mishandling or something deeper? And as always, stay informed, stay skeptical, and stay engaged. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.